Hello, Mr. Pratt. We are going to talk about this year's Battalion Service Learning Project. In other words, what did we do to give back to our community, and how did it benefit our cadets' character? Before we continue on with the rest of the briefing, I'd like to address why me and the following briefers will not be wearing our masks. This is so you can hear us clearer. Every briefer here has also taken a COVID test and has come back negative. And the mask will only remain off for as long as we brief. Are there any questions regarding what I've just said? If not, can you please go on to the next slide? Here on the slide is the agenda for what we'll be going over during this briefing. Please take a moment to read the agenda. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please go on to the next slide? Today, the briefers will include myself, Lieutenant Colonel Ordonez, followed by Cadet Captain Hart, and finally the briefing will be concluded by Cadet Sergeant Major Albert. So my name is Isis Ordonez, and I'm a Left 4. I'm the Rattler Battalion Commander. Here's some information about me. Like my third year, I was a Battalion S5, and then for the second half of that year, I was Battalion Command Sergeant Major. In the future, I'll be attending UChicago as an astrophysics major. For this project, I was a timekeeper and recorder, directing the rest of my staff on what to do for this project and making sure everything got done in a timely manner, while also documenting everything that got done. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please move on to the next slide? This year, the Rattler Battalion worked with an organization called Get Outdoors Nevada. This organization works to clean up outdoor environments for the preservation and for the enjoyment of the community around it. These locations are typically hiking trails and local parks. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please move on to the next slide? Before we had selected the Get Outdoors Nevada project, the battalion staff discussed potential projects for the battalion to do together. One of these projects we had discussed was an organization we had worked with often before the start of the pandemic. This was 3 Square, who worked to provide food to less fortunate families across the valley. We had also looked into a Thanksgiving turkey packaging project that would have been held at our local Allegiant Stadium that we had found during the month of November. In the end, though, we selected the Get Outdoors Nevada project because it is part of citizenship to make your surrounding environment better. Clean Up Park allows for families to relax in the outdoors instead of sitting inside and becoming depressed and restless, with the only alternative being areas filled with trash. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please move on to the next slide? We chose to do the Get Outdoors Nevada project for several reasons. Environmental concerns have been rising as natural disasters become more common and record-hitting temperatures at odd times of the year keep happening. Our future leaders, which some may even be present within this battalion right now, don't know exactly what they can do to help our environment in a significant manner. By doing this project, we are educating our cadets on what is harming the environment and the many ways they can volunteer in their community besides food drives and can drives. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please move on to the next slide? Doing this project, we were able to inform our cadets and the guests they brought with them to the project on the importance of taking care of the environment around them for the benefit of not only themselves, but for others for the future. Cadets learned how to identify what trash can cause damage to the environment around them, however small it may be. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please move on to the next slide? The Get Outdoors Nevada project relates to the curriculum because contributing to the improvement of our surrounding community is part of being a good citizen. I would like to also note that during this project, teamwork skills were also used as the groups were split up by company and most cadets were paired with one other person as they walked around the park picking up trash. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please move on to the next slide? Listed here on the slide are the lessons that relate to the Get Outdoors Nevada project. I'll give you a moment to read the slide. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please move on to the next slide? For this project, we have the following 5 roles for managing it: facilitator, recorder, reporter, timekeeper, and debriefer. Besides the Rattler Battalion and Outdoors Nevada, we had members of student council involved, and parents were kept informed through emails and flyers of the event being sent out prior to the event being executed. Are there any questions regarding this slide? If not, can you please move on to the next slide? The following are the service guidelines we aligned ourselves and our project to while planning and executing said project. As you read our guidelines, please pay special attention to that first bullet point. This isn't just a community service project. This is a project meant to allow the volunteer themselves to reflect back on what they did for others, to practice selfless service and goodwill. Are there any questions regarding this slide or any previous slide I've covered? If not, this concludes my portion of the briefing. I will be followed by the Battalion Executive Officer, Cadet Captain Hart.
Hello, Mr. Pratt. My name is Angela Hart, and I am a Level 4 at Mojave High School's GRTC program, and I am this year's Rattler Battalion Executive Officer. Here's some information about me. Like, for example, my 3rd year in ROTC, I was Alpha Company Commander during the quarantine, and I was the unarmed co-captain. Aside from ROTC-related activity, I am also the Vice President of FCCLA, which stands for Family, Career, Communities, Leaders of America. And I have attended the CTE manufacturing program at Desert Rose Tech Center for 3 years. In the future, I would like to join the Navy as an enlisted officer. Any questions about this slide? If not, I will move on to the next one. The following slide is the service progress. As you begin to read through the slide, you will see that the ROTC program has committed a pre-assessment using the success portfolio. We also looked into the needs of the community, which included cleaning up the park, making it safe for wildlife and small children. Also, after our project, we will complete a post-assessment. Any questions about this slide? If not, I will move on to the next one. In this slide, we talk about our service goal. As you begin to read through the paragraph on this slide, you will see that the project was open to different organizations, like for example, our student government was a part of our project. They came out and helped us reach our goal of 50 pounds or more microtrash removed from the park. Microtrash are pieces of larger trash that remain underground, which are harmful to wildlife. Any questions about this slide? If not, I will move on to the next one. This slide is the PAN project slide, which includes questions like who will be involved, the location, and how will it work out. Any questions about this slide? If not, I'll move on to the next one. This slide, at the beginning of our project, we made sure that everyone got signed in with Get Outdoors Nevada, so that we had a direct count of how many people will be at the park, and a safety brief which included areas that were restricted. We had advertised our project to the whole school using our media team and posters. With more information, cadets were also giving letters and permission slips to their parents. Any questions about this slide? If not, I'll move on to the next one. To register for the project, there was a QR code or website link with information about the organization we were working with on the date of the project. We selected team leaders to be in charge of a specific group who would have walkie-talkies for more communication with the other groups and their locations. Our goal was to remove 50 pounds or more microtrash from the park. But we had surpassed our goal by collecting 155 pounds of microtrash. After our project, we had concluded by having an AAR briefing with what we thought went well and what we thought we can improve on. Any questions about this slide? If not, I'll move on to the next one. This slide is a reflection slide. It contains information like our outside GRTC project and the community fields. Do you have any questions about this slide? If not, I will be followed by the Battalion Command Sergeant Major Xavier Albert.
Hello, Mr. Pat. My name is Xavier Albert, and I'm a Lit 4 this year, as well as this year's Rattler Battalion Command Sergeant Major. Here's some information about me. Like in my third year, I was the battalion's S7. In the future, I plan to attend CSN, as well as being part of the National Guard for Nevada as a 19th Delta Cap Scout. Is there any questions regarding my personal slide? If not, then can you please go next. Structure reflection. After the project, we made sure to conduct an AAR. What an AAR is an after-action review. This makes sure that we was able to write down what we did good, what we did bad, and what we can improve on. This is so we was able to improve every year we do the project and pass on the notes to the next year's leadership, so that way they know what to do and keep writing down what they did good, what they did bad, and what they can improve on. Is there any questions regarding the slide? If not, then can you please go next. The impact on our cadets. On the screen, you will see various questions as well as answers that we've asked our cadets. Some questions are, how do they feel about participating in the service learning project? Majority or all of our cadets felt good about participating, that they was able to give back and help the wildlife as well as make the park look nicer. This is also good because none of the cadets feel like picking up trash was a waste of their time. Is there any questions regarding this slide? If not, then can you please go next. The project result. Overall, we had 61% of our cadets participating in the event, as well as 11 members from our Mojave Student Council, as well as 16 additional family members, all came out to participate. Our objective was to remove 50 pounds of microtrash from the park, but instead we removed 155 pounds. This resulted with Get Outdoors Nevada offering Mojave High School JRTC program a partnership status for any future projects or programs that they have. Is there any questions regarding this slide? If not, then please go next. Integration. We made sure to go to our Mojave High School Student Council, as well as video production. That way our cadets had constant reminders on the morning announcements. We also made sure to use our Snakebite, as well as Mojave website, to give our cadets multiple outlets for reminders about the event. Is there any questions regarding this slide? If not, then please go next. New service learning ideas. We are working with Get Outdoors Nevada in the spring to try tree planting on Mount Charleston. This is a very good project since majority of our cadets have never planted a tree ever in their lives. So this will not only teach them the importance of planting trees as well as how to plant trees, but also make the ecosystem and the environment better. We are also working on collecting clothing for distribution at the homeless shelters. This is another good project for us because any cadets that have any old clothes at their homes, instead of throwing it away, they can give it to someone who may be in need for those clothes, as well as various other projects as you can see on the screen. Are there any questions regarding the slide? If not, then please go next. The conclusion. Establishing a partnership with Get Outdoors Nevada was a win-win for both parties. It was a win for the Mojave High School JRTC program since we have a stable way to get our cadets outside, motivated to clean up as well as learn something new about the environment. And it was a win for Get Outdoors Nevada since they have a stable program of motivated young cadets, always willing to help. Proper planning was the key to success as well as reaching out and inviting others to join our project. It resulted in us having a higher number as we did today, or in the. Is there any questions regarding this slide? If not, then please go next. On the screen, you see various pictures of us doing the event. Is there any questions regarding our pictures? If not, then please go next. This concludes the Rattler Battalion Service Learning Briefing for 2021 to 2022. We thank you for listening, Mr. Pat, and have a good day.